Face your fears. Don't walk away from them. Don't hide from them. Your fears will lead you to God. The light shines into the darkness. Darkness will be dispelled. Yet your fears will come up. Face your fears within. When you do this, your light will become brighter. You've conquered a little bit more of your fears. Imagine your fears can be used as a vehicle in this game of life. You're learning each and every moment. Face your monsters within. You will be glad you did. You can understand this puzzle.
Father and son. Last night, my wife and I went to pay a visit to see the ducks and geese. We love to watch them fly into the sky. No wonder our Air Force flies in the same patterns in the sky. I love to hear them honking in the air. But sometimes humans have a tendency to spoil the whole thing. There was a young boy around 3 years old with his father. They were rolling around the park, running after the ducks and geese. It would be like if I came into your house with a bowling ball while you were asleep. They were getting a kick out of it. Mind you, this sort of activity is training the young boy to be a bowler. They have no consideration or awareness of nature. What are we teaching our young? I remember a time when I was young, I did the same thing. I had zero awareness what I was doing. Fortunately, I became mature, aware, and more conscious. I couldn't say anything to the father, or a fight would be on my hands. This went on for an hour or so. Little boys need guidance to become better human beings. The expression, well, boys will be boys, really doesn't cut it. If we want a better society, it starts with our young. They will be the future generation. We want to continue with war and bullies in our land. If we don't change, the world will change. Are we so asleep with nature and we can't see the forest from the trees? Do you think we have total dominion over nature? We can raid nature for whatever we need. Are we sawing the branch we are sitting on? I am hopeful for mankind. Mankind means kind man. This is our potential. This is our true state of being. We have dust on our mirrors of life. We can learn how to be in harmony with nature. Yet at the same time, we must change for the better. We can't go on with the same broken record. At times, we are sitting on the fence. One side is darkness, and the other side is light.
Have you heard a person who has mastered the guitar? Imagine an Eric Clapton. How much dedication it took to get where they are today. So many hours of practice. I'm sure there was stumbling along the way. They made errors, yet they continued on this journey. I love to discover who I truly am. I spent most of my life meditating. I'm discovering how to be a better human being. I'm facing the dragons within. What joy it is to let go of anger. Every moment is an opportunity to be tolerant of others. Practice what you preach. Every moment is an opportunity to improve on this road of life. Your life is a canvas, and you create your own reality. What kind of world do you want to live in? Flowers are nature's way of saying, I love you. From a small seed comes a beautiful flower. Can you imagine the forest when a flower blooms? We give flowers on celebration. We give flowers to our loved ones. We put flowers on our loved ones' graves. We give flowers to someone who's sick. We give flowers as a gift. We use flowers in our wedding ceremonies. We have flowers in our office. We have flowers in our house. We plant flowers in our backyard. There are so many different types of flowers. Flowers give us hope. Flowers help us get well. Flowers unite two loved ones. Flowers put a smile on their face. Flowers help us to overcome the death of a loved one. If you follow the railroad tracks, you would eventually get to your destination. Hot and sweaty you will be. Maybe it will snow or you will get wet. The wise man buys a ticket on the train. He also has an incredible journey watching the sights. Man has a choice to follow the tracks or to board the train. Either way, someday you will reach your true home. Gandhi was a simple man who brought England to its knees. Whoever would have thought a 90-pound weakling could cause England so much trouble? He believed in the common man. Gandhi was a man more powerful than all of England. He knew the true power of this life. He was not your ordinary politician. He cared for his human life. Many people don't realize the power of water. It seems so gentle, yet over time it can dissolve rock. Gandhi believed that non-violence was the answer. The British with their arms left India forever. Gandhi simply left them with a mirror. How can you kill when none wants to fight? You eventually leave the country and never to return. When I was a kid, Martin Luther King believed in non-violence. Unfortunately, he was killed, but his dream lived on. America was transformed by his words. Our world is a better place. I believe in non-violence. We can truly change the world. Gandhi and King, I salute you. Thank God it's Friday. We all need a break from our daily routine. Where can we escape? Where can we go? Drinking will bring us a hangover by morning. What truly gives us the break? What truly gives us freedom? Do you know what you're talking about? How can we be at ease? In this state, there is no disease. The body and mind is in harmony. Glasses can be helpful to make you see. At times, it can make you tainted. I can only see blue because my glasses are blue. Therefore, the world is blue. Yet the world contains all colors. It contains colors that even you can't see. Don't think that I can see everything. 95% is filtered by the brain. We refuse to see the world as it truly is.
Kingdom of Heaven. Many people think that the kingdom of heaven is a place. There is a pearly gate, and God has guards at the entrance. You must pass the test to get in. Yet, what if heaven is a state of mind? What if heaven has always been there, but there has been dust covering inner mirror? Maybe man's problems have always been looking outside of ourselves. Maybe, just maybe, we have forgotten our true nature. The hells that man create are real. Look at the wars all around the world. Innocent people get killed and maimed. Millions of people are fleeing from their homelands. That must be hell. We as a world must help them. Forget our immigration policies. Do you think Christ will accept that? The U.S. seems to have a we don't care policy. Immigration was a thing of the past. Immigration must be stopped. Recently, I saw where ICE sent a man who has been here for 30 years back to his country. He leaves behind his wife and kids. The U.S. is creating a living hell for thousands of people. What happened to the love and compassion of America? Have we totally lost our ways? How can we still have a president who mocks the world? We give him the keys to our nuclear codes. To be honest, America must learn to discover the heaven within. We are all so much off the mark. Anger is the norm. Anger is the point on the thermometer of life where you know our society is sick. America has a serious disease. A disease is a point when there is no peace. Everything is in a chaotic state, just like cancer. It seems to describe our political system today. Everything is in chaos. Nobody knows what's going on. You can be fired just like the Apprentice show on TV. Just ask Rex Tillerson and the rest. Chaos is a manifestation of our minds. If our minds are chaotic, the world around us will be chaotic. It is as simple as that. Remember, you can choose between heaven and hell. The choice is yours. Stephen Hawking died yesterday. I've been following him for many years. Yesterday, he became stardust. He became one with the universe. Imagine being trapped inside your body for so many years. Yet, that didn't stop him. He used it to his advantage. His mind was his mass of the universe. I love one of his theories about black holes. His theory was the other side of the black hole was a new universe being created. Well, how's that for thinking outside of the box? Just a week ago, I saw an incredible episode on Star Talk, the series by Neil deGrasse Tyson. He was interviewing him. One of the panel members was Michio Kaku. Both Michio and Neil were laughing at how incredible Stephen was. He hit a home run in answering questions. Both of these people had a hard time understanding his concepts. That day showed me his mind was probably the most brilliant of his time. One of my all-time videos was A Glorious Day by Carl Sagan and Stephen Hawking. Each time I see it, it brings tears to my eyes. I think this video captures the essence of life. This is what Stephen yearns for. I think Stephen was a modern-day mystic. His laboratory was the universe. He was trapped inside of his body, but his mind was free. He could use all his energy to think about the laws of the universe. He used his disability to leapfrog mankind. I heard he had an incredible sense of humor. A person who studies the universe will definitely acquire humor. Humor is the foundation of life. He used humor as a tool to go beyond all his difficulties. So today, Stephen became one with the stars. He was welcomed home with a standing ovation. Tears of joy were heard throughout the universe. The bully. Yesterday, my wife and I were watching the ducks and geese. It was a glorious day. We see this guy and his dog walking down the path. This person was smoking a cigarette, staring at his cell phone. He had a ball in his other hand. He would throw the ball, and the dog would run in glee towards the ball. At times, the ball would bounce high into the air, and he would catch it. Then he would run as fast as he can towards his owner. At times, this guy wouldn't even notice him. He was paying attention to his phone. The dog would just sit there, wagging its tail. Eventually, the man would come back down and see his dog sitting there. He then would eventually throw the ball again. As all dogs do, they have to poop. Well, the dog did its thing, and this man looked all around to see if anyone was looking. Nope, not anyone around. So he walks away. Only a few yards away were doggy bags to use to clean up the mess. My wife and I were happy that when the dog catched the ball when leaping high into the air, the guy would yell congratulations into the air. I liked that. Dog was a friendly and loving dog. At one point, I noticed that he had a San Diego t-shirt. I used to live in Del Mar, just outside of San Diego. Well, I rolled down my window and was about ready to say hello. He then threw his ball towards the sleeping ducks and geese. The dog ran towards them, and all the ducks and geese scrambled towards the pond. How would you like to have a bowling ball thrown into your house when you are fast asleep? I didn't say anything towards this person. He didn't even see us watching the situation. In Kansas, you can carry a gun wherever you like. You have to be careful about what you say. Otherwise, you might end up in a box, if you know what I mean. I often wonder which planet I have landed on. Am I having a nightmare, or is this real? Waste of time. For the last 10 years, there is a concept of a single sign-up. For example, you go to what'scookingtreasures.com, my cooking website. If you want to register, you click a button on Google or Facebook. Presto, you're registered with no passwords on my site. Simple. Yet they make it extremely difficult for the developer. You see, every few years they change things and it no longer works. Millions of developers all around the world then scramble to try to fix the problem. Millions of hours are wasted. If you make money on your site, you lose money while it's down. Both Facebook guilty and Google are guilty of this. This happened to me this week. Facebook is down. There are hundreds of suggestions on how to fix it. Each one takes you down a rabbit hole. Now both Facebook and Google know our email address. Why don't they send an email in advance of these changes? They could describe exactly what is needed for the next change. Instead, developers are in the dark. and wasting time to fix this. This is, in my eyes, the way to solve this problem. Yes, I believe security, but please announce the ways in advance and provide practical guidance. Millions of people are affected by your changes. Do you ever think that your actions have wide consequences worldwide? How many developers get up and roll their eyes and say, "Not again"? We don't want to go back to the era where we store passwords on our site. Yet we get tired. Every couple of years we have to change our code or settings to make it work. Being a developer is challenging enough to be current in technology. You can never rest on your laurels. It's something like a single sign-on should be done once and only once. Instead, headaches occur every 2 years. You almost dread that moment in time when this will happen again. In the last 7 years, I've had to change things at 3 separate times. One time, it was a huge workaround. Hopefully, Google and Facebook will listen to this.